Welcome to your Halatali guide. This guide will be your one-stop shop for healing through the chaos as tank busters, cardinal AoEs and so much more. So prep work for this dungeon is simple. Ensure your gear is not damaged, eat a meal for a buff that applies to your class, and then jump straight into the party finder, but make sure you're ready to go straight away. As a healer, you won't be waiting around. Now that you're in this optional dungeon, your first task will be to clear the Hall of Cesti, but before you do anything, make sure your tank has their stance on, as this is an early dungeon and many tanks do forget at this point. So as you make your way through the Hall of Cesti, make sure to hug the left, clearing 4 packs of adds along the way. But if you hug the right, you will end up pulling more than you need to, causing additional time to your run. However, if you really want to speedrun this, you and your team can hug the left and run straight to the boss area, pulling 1 large pack of adds and mass healing your team throughout the enemies, thus clearing it in a much quicker time frame, although this will lower your damage output overall. If you decide to do 1 large pull, the only thing you need to worry about is the conal AoE caused by the doctor type adds. The gas bombs you can simply avoid as well, they don't really do much damage in the slightest, and the heckler imps are literally there just to troll you with pointless attacks. These are all very clearable, and when you get more experience with this dungeon, I would recommend just pulling everything, running to the end and mass healing the tank. There is a point where if you do pull too much and you look like you're struggling with keeping the tank's health alive, you can pop your OG CD heal, which will immediately rectify the situation. A brief side note is the loot from here covers from item level 19 to item level 22. From here, clear the last pack of adds, make your way down the stairs and you will enter Firemane's pit in the Hall of Cesti. Fortunately for us, this last pack of adds are utter pushovers and they'll be destroyed in absolute seconds. Run straight down the stairs and you're ready to greet Firemane. So let's break down this boss. Firemane has 3 key attacks that will be marked on screen. The first is Fire 2, a circular AoE at the base of the boss. This is easy to avoid and shouldn't cause any trouble providing you're mid-range, where you should be anyway if you're a healer. The second ability is Fire Flow. The boss will cast 2 sets of 4 cones in cardinal directions. After the first set goes off, move into it to avoid the second set. So last but not least is Burning Bolt. This is your tank buster, but this can be dealt with easily with an OG CD heal or a couple standard heals to mitigate any damage taken. After, Firemane will repeat this process until you've burned down his health bar to nothing. From here, just make sure to heal the tank during the tank busters, avoid the conal AoEs and stay out of his AoE, and this boss will be done in no time at all. Now, jump in the Ethereal flow to proceed. Congratulations on beating the first boss of Halatali. Entering phase 2 of the dungeon, you will proceed along the path to the next boss, but you will need to pull all 5 chain winches to unlock the gate to it. So, follow the path pulling the chain winches. However, several of these are traps which will cause an AoE to spawn, killing all players in the vicinity. So pull the winch and run back. This will avoid any death by AoE and lower the chance of the adds that spawn targeting you directly. The best method for these winches is to clear the adds around the winch, pull the winch and run. This will mitigate the chance of needless deaths and allow the run to be a smooth ride towards the next boss. While running around activating winches, the adds encountered will consist of Colosseum Pythons, Scythe Mantises along with Lightning Sprites. If the tank is new to the dungeon, it is recommended to take 1 pull at a time. However, if you and your team are confident, you can pull multiple packs and focus on healing rather than DPS. Bear in mind there are multiple packs of adds here, and several winches will spawn in additional adds when pulled. Once the last winch is pulled, proceed through the gate into the Hall of Secateurs. From here you'll encounter Thunderclap Guivre in his pool of water. Within this section of the dungeon, there's several chests that can be acquired that will increase your overall gear level, making for an even smoother and quicker clear. From here, simply follow the video, proceeding down the linear path, activating the winches and avoiding the AoEs as per scene. Once all 5 winches have been pulled, we'll proceed through the green door leading to Thunderclap Guivre. Now you've pulled all 5 winches, kept your team alive and opened the green door, and if approaching Thunderclap Guivre, let's break this boss's moveset down. Thunderclap Guivre will kick things off with Electrify, a circular AoE which is simple to avoid and just stand back to mid-range fighting. Following this, it also has its move Leven Fang, a tank buster. Once again, just make sure you either have your OGCD ready or you're ready for a couple quick GCD heals that will do the trick. Make sure to keep an eye on the tank's health throughout this fight as it will consistently be taking damage. Finally, we have Hydroelectric Shock. Marked with the on-screen title, the water crackles electricity. Thunderclap Guivre will start charging electricity, giving a purple glow to the entire pool of water. Retreat to the dirt slopes on the edge of the arena until the attack goes off. It's worth noting the ranged DPS and healers can hit Thunderclap Guivre from this dirt spot for the duration of the fight, and will remain safe with the exception of its standard AoE in which they just have to move a few yards back. Once you've defeated Thunderclap Guivre, proceed through the Ethereal flow to the final section of the dungeon. Congratulations, we're now 2/3 through. From here, all what's left to do is defeat Tangasta, so go up the stairs removing the adds along the way, but do not turn left at the top of the stairs. This will lead you to a trapped chest where you will fight an additional boss that is not needed. Instead, what we want to do is turn right with the party to continue to a large room where we'll be greeted by the cutscene queuing our final boss. So, what do we need to be aware of? Well, for one, there's Straight Punch, his Tank Buster, but by now I'm sure you're well equipped to handle these. Then there's Burning Ward. Tangasta calls upon the Spirits of Flame. At around 80% health, the boss gains a fire shield that makes him invulnerable. You cannot damage him during this phase. Instead, 2 torches will light up and start spewing fire wisps, which will approach the boss and will explode into room-wide AoEs if they reach it. Kill the wisps to disable the shield, which will give the message Tangasta's fiery ward has vanished. This move is repeated at about 60% HP again. The next move we need to be aware of is Plain Pound. It is a multi-stage AoE that starts a circle, then 2 concentric donuts follow. Stand outside the initial circle, then when it goes off, move in to avoid the donuts. Then we have Fire Water, a circular AoE which, like the Tank Buster, you're an absolute pro at avoiding and healing those who haven't quite mastered it yet. Now that we're aware of the mechanics of work here, you should simply be able to follow each mechanic step as explained and make short work of Tangasta in a very quick and simple fight. Once the boss is down to about 5% health, I'd recommend you use a melee DPS for limit break for single target damage. If you don't have a melee DPS in your party, then a ranged DPS will also do fine. The damage is slightly different, but it will finish the boss off quicker. Congratulations, you've cleared your first optional dungeon and gained some new loot and been the key figure in keeping your party alive. If this video has helped you, or you've just simply enjoyed coming along for the ride, then drop a like and hit the subscribe button and stay tuned for the next dungeon guide.